trip. I've been doing some reading, and I just started packing. But
I've been packing a month.
Only because you've been lightly pushing me to do so. I'm a last minute packer, and I like to grab what's at my fingertips. That said, I always keep a go bag and pack whatever I'm most liking wearing most recently and such like that. But I'm looking at staying at one of these capsule hotels. Speaking of stretching the dollar as far as I can. So I'm really excited that Tokyo offers all these super tiny hotel situations. And I've just built a little reading loft in my own apartment. And so I'm going over there partly to get ideas for how to finish off my own reading loft and make it very luxurious, like these little capsule hotels. So I'll stay in a cheap one. I also want to stay in a luxury capsule hotel, even though they're roughly the same size. I want to see what all the different amenities are and how they make them their own tailored personal thing. They're all competing against each other. And so it'll be fun to see what they do to make them distinctive and catchy and a nice place to stay. And I hope that I'll get some good sleep while I'm at it.
We've discovered YouTube, which is really funny at our age. My husband has become a YouTube fanatic, actually, but it's usually because he's watching the New England Patriots, Tom Brady post Super Bowl win content. But anyway, we have discovered YouTube, and we've been looking at the capsule hotels. Of course, we will not stay there, but I'm glad that you will be staying there, because I want you to have that experience so that you can tell us all about it. And the luxury ones, actually, they all look kind of interesting to me, because I could do that. I personally feel that I could sleep in one of those because you've got a light, you can read, you can listen to your music. Some of them have TVs, and they just seem like it's a great place to get some sleep.
Yeah, we'll see about that. I'm hoping that is the case.
Yeah, they have rules and regulations about noise. So I get the impression that they're really, really good. And I think they even have some at the airport.
Cool.
Yeah.
That'll make it nice and easy.
But yeah, so I'm interested. Make sure you take some pictures if you can, so
I will.
Definitely.
I'll take a picture, and I'll try to do a little report and share it back with you, so you can share it with all the listeners.
That'd be really cool. Really, really cool. So then we've also been looking at things to do in the area and what's going on. And I'll give a quick little blip about something I'll talk about later on in the show. Is they're going to have the 67th Yokohama Parade while we're there. It's a costume parade, which should be fun. And then the Yokohama Frühling Fest, which is a German festival with German beers, live music, and fun attractions and stuff. So,
all right.
I was just thinking about that. But the big thing for us is the food.
Absolutely.
I've got to eat. I want to eat as much as I can while I'm there. And I know that's on your list as well. So have you looked into inexpensive places to get our Wagyu beef, or are you still
I'm willing to splurge on the Wagyu beef. I'm definitely willing to splurge. And I love sushi, and I love ramen, and I love so many things. Pickled anything. And and so I'm excited to try all that. I like fermented food. Fermented tofu is one of my favorites. And
is it?
I'm excited about all that. And I'm also super excited about getting on the bullet trains. I want to ride the trains around the city. I want to also go to the traditional bathhouse, the Jikatsu Yu and Edo era onsen or traditional bathhouse. And I'm excited to stop into the Tokyo National Museum. And I do like to go to temples too, and they're nice and cheap.
Yes.
So I will probably do some of the Meiji Restoration temples and the Meiji Shrine. And I'm just starting to get my list together, but I plan to get everywhere by taking the train. And
Okay.
I love to navigate a new city. I lived in New York City for a while, so it's always fun to go underground and to pop up in different places. And
Now, see, I would have. We're gonna. That
check
means
things out.
we're gonna have to follow you with the train thing. If we get on the train, it'll be because we've gone with you.
Okay, that sounds great. I'm gonna do some exploring ahead of time and figure some stuff out, and then hopefully we'll have a smooth sailing kind of train journey. Sounds pretty great.
Yeah, that sounds really good. That's about the only way I can probably get Mitchell on one of those trains, is if he figures that someone else has navigated it and knows what they're doing. That could be
All
fun.
right.
So so what's going on with you in this trip? Why are we going on this trip, David?
Oh, good question. So I'm actually going on this trip because I want to see my boyfriend. I really miss him, and he's a Motown singer. He sings all kinds of things, but he is singing on a contract on Norwegian Cruise Line, and he's been traveling around Southeast Asia for around 2 months, and then he's going to be heading over to Alaska for the rest of his time, and it's a 6-month journey altogether. But I'm so excited that we get to go visit him halfway through the journey to make the trip from Asia over to Alaska. And since you're his mom and I'm his boyfriend, it's going to be super fun for us to get to join him on that trip. What I love so much is that he's having a birthday while we're doing that crossing to Vancouver, and he'll be turning 31. And then I am super excited also that there's another birthday on the trip, and that's that when we land in Vancouver, that happens to be the city where my grandfather was born. And of all days in the year that we could be arriving, we are arriving on May 20th, my grandpa's birthday, to his birth city. And I find it so serendipitous that that's happening.
Yes.
I'm super excited. I love my grandpa so much. He's no longer with us, but I feel like it's very exciting to be going to his birth city, which is a city I love more than any, Vancouver. It's an amazing city, and we get to show up there at the end.
And your parents are going to meet us there, right?
Yep. I talked to my parents and my aunt and uncle into meeting us there with open arms as we arrive, and it's going to be the first meeting of the parents. So that's a big experience. I'm excited about that. Hope it goes well. Fingers crossed.
Will. You know it will. It absolutely will. Yeah, this is really going to be a super exciting. I love to be able to go on the ship when Edwin's on the ship, and it's just going to be. This is my longest cruise. This is your first real cruise.
Yes, it is.
Right. Have you done any research about cruising?
Not really. I've just been, I talk to Edwin daily, FaceTime, and so I'm seeing inside the boat a lot, and I know his cast because I got to meet them when they were doing all their prep in Tampa before they left, and so I have a little bit of a sense of what's going on from inside from talking to him all the time, but I don't really know what to expect with the cruise, and I'm excited. I know it's going to be some tight quarters, which that'll keep with the capsule hotel theme and that sort of budget idea. But so I really love space. I've done a lot of carpentry and such, and lived in small, tiny apartments in New York City, and so I'm very excited to see how people manage tiny spaces and live in those environments.
So what's your research been like for this trip? Do you read primarily, or do you do YouTube, or what do you do to prepare for finding out the information you want to find out about places like this?
I'm a big fan of the Lonely Planet travel guide. And so I have the Lonely Planet travel guide for Vancouver and for Tokyo. I also am a huge fan of the Time Out series. And I think Time Out originated in New York, and it's the guide for New York City that's super good. And I use that in teaching, and I use that for navigating New York a lot. But they have city guides all over the world, and I find them to be superior with all sorts of good leads and suggestions. And I especially like the context and the history and the politics sections there that kind of grab all the news but make it so it's really accessible. And other than that, I feel like that's actually sufficient at this point. I'm also doing some reading. I'm reading a whole collection of haikus by Japanese poets right now, mainly 17th century haikus, but I find that writing to be so brief, so catchy, and like perspective changing whenever you read them and kind of sink into them. And I feel like the poetry and short literature is a really good way to get oriented and to kind of free my mind and start fresh. I'm also super excited to do a lot of meditation and to kind of open my eyes and start fresh with an empty screen and take that in. But I feel like the haikus help remind me that, there's a different set of logics, there's a different way of thinking, and I want to keep that fresh, open mind as I step out the door each day and turn the corner.
I just finished reading 2 books about Zen meditation, and my hope and dream while I'm there is to get to go to one of the Zen Buddhist temples and do some actual meditation there.
Awesome.
I'm really, really looking forward to that. That's kind of...
I'm looking forward to that too. I can't wait to be right next to you doing that.
I know, that's gonna...
Is Mitchell gonna like it too?
Probably not. I mean, he would probably like to go, but I can't see Mitchell meditating per se. Although I have recently discovered that he does do. He's one of those people that can fall asleep anywhere at any time, very, very quickly. Okay. And I have learned that how he does that is actually through a bit of his form of meditation, where he puts himself in silence. And that's what meditation is, but he would have never identified it as that, So just so you know,
that whole dreamscape in the dream world is really powerful. And I think that while you're traveling, your dreams get really very, very powerful. So I'm excited to even just do dream journaling and such while I'm there too.
Oh, that's interesting. Dream journaling. So just since we're talking, there's a thing that I've started reading called Buddhist Tales for Young and Old by Prince Goodspeaker. And it's just short stories that they read, really short stories about Buddhist type stories. It's really cool. But anyway, we totally got off topic, but that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some meditation. I want to do it at a temple, and I would love to buy me I just totally went brain dead. What's the native Japanese robe?
Oh,
what's it called?
Yeah, I'm
totally brain dead.
A kimono.
And a kimono. Oh my God. Yes. A real one. I would like to purchase one of those. I don't know how I could wear it here in Panama because it's too warm, but I'm sure I'll find a place to wear that. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Nice silky one that breathes and
yes.
That might be good anywhere.
So are you looking forward to Alaska? We've talked a lot about Japan.
Yeah, I am looking forward to Alaska a lot. I have been just to the southern finger of Alaska, as far north as Ketchikan, and I went in the summertime, and it was green, but I don't feel like I got the true depth of the really rich green of northern Alaska, and so I'm really excited to take that route of going from Japan by Russia down into Alaska and seeing that rugged coastline and seeing the northern lights and the sky and how everything's different up there. But I'm also super excited just to see how the topography changes. And I grew up on the Pacific and in the on the Pacific sort of Northwest and on the West Coast, there's so many Asian immigrants. And so I've really grown up thinking about America having a lot more Asians than I do now when I'm on the Miami side. But I'm excited to see how population changes and just this much larger Pacific sort of lake as you think of all the people that live around